Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Versus, a Japanese action horror movie from 2000 that was directed by Ryuhei Kitamura. It stars Tak Sakaguchi. I'm pretty sure I've covered this in my Asian movie collection videos as well as my Asian horror movie playlist as well, but I felt like doing a separate review of it because it kind of deserves it. A mysterious face-off in a wooded clearing between two escaped convicts and a carload of sharply dressed yakuza who are holding a beautiful woman captive ends in hails of bullets and showers of blood. The location for this violent encounter is the mythic Forest of Resurrection, the site of the 444th portal of the 666 hidden gates that link this earthly domain to the netherworld. And it didn't get this name for nothing. As one of the surviving prisoners escapes with the girl into the darkness of the forest, disgruntled gangsters soon become the least of their worries, as an earlier battle between a lone warrior against hordes of zombie samurai is carried over from a millennium ago into the present day. Now, yes, I'm sure I've mentioned this film a number of times on this channel, and I am a huge fan of Ryuhei Kitamura, or at least I should say that I used to be. Back in the day, I waited with bated anticipation for his new movies during the mid-2000s. This is primarily because Azumi and Sky High were released within 1 year of each other, and I really enjoyed those films. Versus is something that continued to grow on me over time, but you can see why this director had such a cult fan base during the early and mid-2000s, until he eventually crapped the bed and started making boring movies during the 2010s, primarily. But in Versus, Kitamura's directing skills do shine here. The camera moves a lot, with movements between characters as they talk, rotating around the characters, etc. Some black and white effects are mixed in. A movie with a budget this low, and it was very low, should not be this, crafty, visually, you know what I mean? And well put together production-wise. It's pretty impressive. It is a B movie for sure, through and through, but it feels like it was made by a seasoned director in some scenes because it's so visually engaging. I do kind of wish Kitamura stayed in Japan and kept making action movies. I know a lot of people hated his Lupin the Third live-action film from, I think, 2014 that came out, but it's better than any of his American stuff from the last decade, and it's really not even close. Because if you've seen any of his recent American action thriller horror movies, they're pretty terrible. But in any case, the story in Versus is more interesting than what you might expect from a zombie movie. After reading the plot synopsis, you might think this is going to be your basic zombie flick, bunch of zombies in a forest and that's it. But it really isn't. The story keeps morphing into different avenues and the zombies morph accordingly. In addition, there are some legitimate surprises. Good luck predicting the ending to this. Good luck to you. Now, the use of black comedy throughout the entirety of the film does make it fun to watch. The dude with the green shirt and the red tie is a riot, and he's just a complete nutcase the whole film. The detectives who are pursuing Tak are great too. FBI headquarters is not located in Langley, by the way. Look it up. But that's part of the joke. But Tak has some good moments of his own in terms of comedy. So the humor kind of balances out the tone, which, it does get serious and bloody at times as well. So the comedy definitely levels everything out. I think it works quite well in this. There are a number of scenes that make me just laugh out loud. And that brings us to the action and the horror content. No exaggeration to say that the opening hour of this film has some of the most entertaining zombie kills of any movie in existence. I mean, as one example, the opening scene is a samurai who fights against zombies who have their own samurai swords. It's just crazy right from the start. And for a low-budget film, I keep mentioning this because I think it's relevant, the fight choreography is pretty awesome and high-octane. We get martial arts against the zombies, gunplay against the zombies, and other stuff later on that I won't spoil. I mean, watching Tak do his, fast-paced punches and kicks against the undead is pretty great. And the zombies early on are very inefficient and slow, but But I'll just say things change later on to be a more formidable opponent for our protagonist to go up against. And yes, there are some inconsistencies in terms of zombie abilities, but you could chalk that up to the use of black humor, which really works. And the final duel is lengthy and satisfying. It's pretty much packed with entertainment to this film. Not really scary, though, for like an action horror hybrid. It does get slightly creepy in spots, though. And there are some good moments of gore and practical effects. You get the perpetual forest environment, some cool atmospheric visuals. Feels like an autumn movie with lots of sunlight that barely shines through the tree branches. Feels almost like an early to mid-autumn season film. Dead leaves are scattered everywhere, and I like watching this during the cooler months. And finally, the music is fun to listen to. It provides a lot of personality to the film as well. So, if you're into low-budget action horror movies, I strongly recommend this. If you somehow have not seen this, this is a big cult film in the Japanese film history of the past 25 years. And there are multiple versions of this movie. The original version is good, but I prefer the ultimate versus version, which includes multiple scenes that were shot a few years after the film was first released. Pretty easy to find streaming, and the Blu-ray releases have tons of special features. So this one has received a lot of treatment in the physical media market, and, rightfully so. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.